Did he just say that there's an FX30 with a PL mount? Yes, well, no, actually you're right. There is no FX30 with a PL mount, but I dug up an old red Cine lens here with a PL mount and went on Amazon and found a PL mount to E-mount adapter to give this thing a try because I really wanted to try this out with the FX30. So no, there is not an FX30 with a PL mount, but you can get an adapter and attach your PL mount lens to your FX30. Let's give this lens a try. So I'm borrowing a red 18 to 50 millimeter T3 Cine lens, and it's pretty cool. You know, I actually have not used this at all. This particular lens that I'm borrowing, the focus ring seems a little bit dusty and scratchy, but we're gonna try it out. So I got this PL adapter from the Trader on Amazon, and I'll put links to all the gear below. And so far it seems really solid. I put it on my new FX30 and we're gonna get some nice test footage from this. Let's do a quick rundown of the other components that I put on my rigs, just so that you guys know, get that out of the way, then we're gonna try this thing out. So taking from my old Blackmagic rig, I've got my cam vate plate, I don't even know how to say this thing, my V-mount battery on there, powering the camera, and the Portkeys PT5 monitor. I've got my DJI focus system and my Fotka DP500 matte box, as well as a Fotka DP500 base plate, which I need this one specifically to elevate my camera a bit because the FX30 body is very small and compact, which I love. The lens, of course, flanges out and means that you can't get the matte box to fit unless you raise it off your rails. The purpose of this video is not to feature the red Cine lens or the FX30 or even the adapter. The purpose of this video is to actually outfit this cinema camera as a cinema camera, meaning use a cinema lens, use a matte box, use a follow focus system, an external battery and monitor, rig it out so that it functions the way a cinema camera traditionally functions. Now, something I have learned about the FX30, and some of you may hate me for saying this, but the FX30 really is just a mirrorless camera. It is a very nice, very feature-rich, user-friendly, budget-friendly mirrorless camera, and definitely delivers some beautiful image results in 10-bit, of course, but it is a mirrorless camera. It's a very nice mirrorless camera. So because this was the cinema lens that I had access to, this red 18 to 50 PL mount Cine lens, that's the one I chose to. Now, why would I even put a PL, why even get a PL mount adapter for one lens? Why go through the trouble? Several reasons. First being that this was the lens that I had access to, and most likely if you've got access to an old lens, it's gonna be a very proprietary mount and most likely out of production. A lot of these old cinema lenses are out of production and thus you're stuck to one mount. There's a lot of lenses you can't get with a Sony E-mount. And also because this is a nice lens. It really is a nice lens, and we're gonna take a look at some of these images that we've captured with it and the FX30. So with that introduction, let's take a look at what this combination of mirrorless camera, cinema camera, and Cine lens have been able to produce.
So most FX30 users will likely be using such lenses as the Sigma Art line or the G Master series lenses, myself included, because I love those. Those are awesome, beautiful, sharp, clean images, and I love the Sigma Art because they give such a beautiful artistic look to your image. But what is it that you look for in a cinema camera or a cinema lens that differs from those typical photographic lenses? Several things that I personally look for when using a cinema lens are those sharp, straight lines with little to no distortion, accurate color reproduction, balanced shadows and highlights, and minimal chromatic aberration. To me, the Blackmagic Pocket 6K was the Sigma Art series of camera bodies. It had a unique and beautiful look to it with a great price tag, of course, and good features, but it's not the camera you want to use for everything. For example, the things that need a very clean, kind of a sterile image, for lack of a better term. And if we're talking about shooting cinematic footage, that usually means a bit more sterile of an image with less unique artifacts to it. Now, the FX30 seems to be doing well at fitting that description, as in many of my test shots I was seeing just those exact elements I mentioned, especially when shooting tree branches up in the sky. You'll see here the background. This is where I see a lot of chromatic aberration with other cameras like the Pocket 6K, whereas the FX30 is very minimal and a really nice image I'm really happy with especially the chromatic aberration that I'm not seeing. And then, of course, this lens creates very nice sharp lines. We'll take a look at some of these shots here, shot straight on against my house, where there's a lot of straight lines and right angles, etc.
Now I've got right around T4.5, 4.3, whatever. I'm wide open at 18 millimeters, and we're gonna try some straight lines here. Now I've opened it wide to T3. It's upside down, sorry. And I'm going to bump up my shutter, keep my ISO still native. And let's see.
You're also going to see some footage here from the A7R III, some interview footage, and the FX30. You see both are corrected and matched without any additional saturation, and the color accuracy with this lens is just beautiful. This lens and this body is just beautiful and seems very accurate and very pleasing. So I like how this lens and this body are very, very good on color reproduction.
So if you could find a nice Cine lens for your FX30, I think you'll be really happy with the results you get. Be on the lookout for more gear coming up, as well as a new review of the Traxxas Explorer e-bike. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.